The governor of California continues to push back after President Trump deployed the National Guard to the Los Angeles area without the governor's consent, and Israeli forces have seized a ship carrying aid that was bound for Gaza. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. President Trump has sent hundreds of National Guard troops to Los Angeles to quell what he says is a riot. There's been a weekend of clashes between demonstrators and Los Angeles police and federal agents. The protests were triggered by federal immigration sweeps in the L.A. area on Friday. California Governor Gavin Newsom says he did not agree to allow the National Guard to go in, and he's going to sue the Trump administration. NPR's Deepa Shivaram reports that Trump says he told Newsom he was going to do this.
Trump suggested that there were instances of protesters spitting on police officers and throwing things. Trump said he has a statement of, quote, "they spit, we hit," referring to how troops will respond. And he said that he was watching to see what happens in other cities in regards to other protests against police or military members. And Trump seemed to allude to the possibility that he could send in troops to other cities.
NPR's Deepa Shivaram reporting. Israeli forces have seized a ship carrying relief aid that was headed for Gaza. NPR's Jane Araf reports Israel has detained a prominent climate change activist and other protesters.
The British-flagged ship, the Madeleine, set sail from Italy a week ago to protest Israel's blockade of Gaza and deliver a symbolic amount of aid. Early Monday, Israeli forces said they took command of the vessel at sea, detaining Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg and the rest of the crew. Israel said it would return those detained to their home countries. Drones off the coast of Malta attacked a ship sent by the same group in May, damaging the vessel. No one claimed responsibility, but the group blamed Israel. Israel banned all international aid from reaching Gaza for 2 months amid increasing malnutrition, and recently implemented its own system of limited deliveries under armed guard. Jane Araf, NPR News, Amman.
President Trump's new travel ban takes effect today. It bans citizens from 12 nations from coming into the U.S. Citizens of 7 other countries face a partial ban. From Johannesburg, Kate Bartlett reports most of the countries under the full travel ban are African.
Trump has said the travel ban would, quote, protect Americans. His first-term travel ban was dubbed the Muslim ban because of the countries affected. This time, most of the countries are in Africa: Chad, Congo-Brazzaville, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan, many of which the president says have high rates of visa overstay. Other countries affected by a full ban include Haiti, Afghanistan, Iran, Yemen, and Myanmar. Trump mentioned an attack in Colorado by an Egyptian national on a group of Jewish demonstrators calling for the return of hostages from Gaza when he announced the new policy. Egypt is not affected by the ban. For NPR News, I'm Kate Bartlett in Johannesburg.
Top officials from the U.S. and China are in London today for another trade meeting. They met last month in Switzerland for similar conversations. Philip Marks reports from London the last set of talks led to a pause in their trade standoff that had roiled global financial markets.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer will represent the U.S., while China's Vice Premier for Economic Affairs, He Lifeng, will lead Beijing's delegation. After tensions once more bubbled up between the two economic superpowers, President Donald Trump held a direct call Thursday with China's President Xi Jinping for the first time since taking office. At issue are not just the triple-digit tariffs that both sides previously imposed, then paused on each other's exports, but also specific products that both have partially restricted in recent weeks. Beijing would like to see US imports including software and nuclear parts resume. Washington would like easier access to rare earth minerals used in semiconductors and electric vehicles. For NPR News, I'm Willem Marks in London.
5 members of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, are suing the U.S. government. They're seeking $100 million. They claim their constitutional rights were violated when they were prosecuted for their roles in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. President Trump has pardoned everyone involved. A judge's ruling has found that the Corporation for Public Broadcasting board members, whom President Trump wanted to fire, can stay on the job. As NPR's David Folkenflik reports, it's the latest development in a multi-front battle between the administration and public broadcasting.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting funnels about $500 million a year to public television and radio outlets. The president is seeking to curtail its independence. One way he's doing that is by trying to fire 3 of its 5 board members. The CPB is privately incorporated as a not-for-profit in D.C. and asked the court to rule Trump did not have the authority to fire them. U.S. District Court Judge Randolph Moss wrote Sunday he wasn't convinced a judicial decree was necessary. Moss said changes to CPB bylaws meant board members could not be fired by Trump. NPR and PBS are suing Trump over his effort to compel the CPB and local stations to withhold all funds from the networks. Trump has also asked Congress to claw back $1.1 billion over the next 2 years for public broadcasting. The House could vote on that this week. David Folkenflik, NPR News.
Broadway's highest honors, the Tony Awards, celebrated its 78th event last night at Radio City Music Hall. Jeff London reports a tiny musical was the night's biggest winner.
Maybe Happy Ending, an original musical developed in South Korea about 2 retired robots who fall in love, won 6 awards, including Best Musical. It has a cast of 4. Never fly away, little robot. Best Revival of a Musical went to a reimagined Sunset Boulevard. It took 2 other awards, including one for star Nicole Scherzinger. Brandon Jacobs Jenkins' play Purpose, about a family of civil rights activists, was named Best Play, and Jonathan Spector's Eureka Day, which looks at a measles outbreak in an elementary school, was named Best Revival of a Play. For NPR News, I'm Jeff London in New York.
Officials in central Tennessee have finally caught a runaway pet zebra. Ed the zebra was picked up in a pasture. Authorities literally picked him up. Tennessee officials wrapped up Ed the zebra in a net, and a helicopter team airlifted him to a waiting animal trailer. Ed the zebra escaped from his owner last month. He immediately gained fame by running in and out of central Tennessee interstate traffic. No injuries have been reported to any people or zebras. This is NPR.